G'day viewers, welcome back to another one. This video is predominantly for absolute beginners. While I'm hoping that only people would need to know this are beginners. A lot of people on the Facebook page and so on, they're asking where do they start, what do they do, what do they need to start, what tools do they need, all that type of thing. When I was learning well over 10 years ago, there wasn't any videos that I could find with this kind of detail, this kind of information, and certainly no videos showing what to do with the acids once you've used them. Luckily I had a little bit of knowledge on chemistry, not a lot but a little bit, to know that if I put aluminium in the solution, everything would drop out that would be in the solution, and then all I would have is aluminium in solution. I didn't know back then how to get the aluminium out, but at least I managed to recover all my precious metals. And I did hold on to the liquids, luckily, in case there was something in there that I missed, and then later down the track I found out how to process it. So what I want to do for you guys is show you an absolute must-have before you even start processing, refining, computer waste, anything like that. Something you need to have before you even touch chemicals. So I'm just going to turn the camera around. So here I have quite a large barrel. This was a food grade barrel, but used to have olives in it. I don't know how many litres it is, probably 50 litres, maybe 60 litres or more. Only cost me $20. You can get all kinds of barrels like this and similar ones. This is what you call a stock pot. Now I know a lot of you would already know this and you'd think, yeah, everyone knows that. Trust me, there are people who don't know this. So in here are any acids that I've been using. It doesn't matter whether it's wash water, gold rinses, nitric rinses, nitric baths, any type of liquid that you would have been using, probably except for sulfuric acid, I would guess. That can be recycled anyway, which I've already showed in another video. But your spent aqua regia, your nitric acid pre-washes to get rid of metal pins and all that type of thing. All these liquids all go in here, and you have to have this liquid charged full of copper. You put as much copper in as you think you can find, as you need, because what will happen, any precious metals that you've left in solution will drop out of solution when the copper goes into solution. So the copper will dissolve into the solution and your precious metals will fall out. The beginners who will make mistakes, everyone makes mistakes, but especially the beginners from time to time will make mistakes. And if you think, oh, what do? I know I got gold in solution, I can't get it out. If you're really frustrated with it and you really can't find the answer to it, just pour it in here. You won't lose it. Your gold can't go anywhere, your silver can't go anywhere. It's here. It'll never ever go anywhere else. It'll be here to be recovered later down the track when you know what you're doing. In the meantime, the silver will be dropping it out for you. So always put your rinses, even your mistakes, all your spent acids into this barrel. Make sure there's plenty of copper in there. I don't suppose it needs to be covered, but mine came with a lid, so I use it. I don't want water getting in there. Now there's more that we need, I'll show you. Now as you start doing this a lot more often and you get or use a lot more acids, you'll need to end up with a couple more tubs and barrels, whatever you, doesn't matter if it's a bucket, barrel, a tub, whatever you want to use. And I'll tell you why. I'm just trying to sort this out. Okay, in this barrel here is what I've done with the materials, the acids, after they've been sitting in my dropped and any other precious metal have dropped. Then that liquid goes into a different barrel, which I used this one, and you put iron in there. You can see down in there is a piece of iron, and what that does is it gets all the copper. You see all this green? That's all copper. It drops all the copper out of solution as the iron dissolves into solution. And down there's a bit of wire mesh, not wire mesh, steel mesh. So any steel that you can get, any iron, bits of pipe, angle iron, bed frame stuff, just put it in there. This one here I've almost finished draining, and I'm going to rinse all the copper. The copper can be reused. When it's all nice and clean, I'll put it back in my stock pot and reuse it. Or for those who like to melt copper bars, you can clean this up and you can melt it in the furnace. It'll look really nice. Don't go by the look of it now, because that's all brown from iron. So that's, I guess you would say, stock pot number 2, which you use to treat the acids after they've had copper sitting in it and dropped all your precious metals. Now, I have a second barrel which has been sitting for a period of time because I wanted to use the new one that I just showed you. So this is it. It's a rather tall barrel. I've got a bucket sitting on top just to stop rain getting into it, although there's a hole here, but it stops a lot of it. And in here you can see it was quite full, and from these strings that I've got hanging down in there, pieces of copper. Now this barrel has been allowed to sit and not move, not get agitated and stirred up, so that all the precious metals can drop out, and they're all laying in the bottom. It's been at least 2 or 3 weeks since I put the barrel here. I've got it up nice and high on some spare tyres so I can siphon that liquid out, and that liquid will go into the barrel I just showed you with the steel. And down the bottom here will be gold, silver and other precious metals. So that's what you need to do to treat your acids. You cannot, and I stress you cannot, just pour your acids down the drain. Now, I know that most of you would already know that, but there are some people who don't. And I like to be as informative as I can for everybody, not just those who know what they're doing. So I hope this has helped you absolute beginners. I hope now you know, before you even start using acids, you need to get at least a couple of barrels or buckets or tubs or whatever to store your acids in. One for your main acids, and then once that's been treated and you've got your precious metals back, then you'll need a different one to put steel in to recover your copper. You can also put in the tub with have steel in it, you can use that for your AP. You can recover the copper from your AP by pouring that into that same container. People have been asking me how to get the copper out of AP. It's exactly the same as that tub with the iron in it. I will make a video for the AP because someone's asked for it. That's coming soon. But for the now, so that you know, if you've got AP and you want to recover it, it's exactly the same process. So it's an iron in there, put some steel in there, put some metal pipe, bed frame, angle iron, whatever you got. I don't think galvanized would work, I don't know. Just normal steel is probably the best one to go for. Even old nuts and bolts. Just reuse stuff, the old rusted tools that you don't want, anything that's steel, chuck it in there. And then you go, you'll be able to recover your copper and all your precious metals. I made lots of mistakes when I started and didn't know how to recover it. Like I said, there was no videos that I could find talking about these barrels, and it was lucky that I just chose to keep it. I don't know what, something told me just hold on to it, and I'm glad I did. There are 2 other people I know of since then who have made videos, but I don't think that they've targeted the video for beginners like I'm hoping to with this one. I know that they did mention the process, but it was probably whilst filming something else. I'm not sure, but I want to make sure that people who are starting out know that this video is for them. And certainly those 2 videos in mention weren't around anywhere, not when I needed them. So I know that there's a need for it. I'm pretty sure that I wasn't the only person who would have benefited by a video like this. So if you guys know what you're doing and you think, oh, how boring, everyone knows this, please bear with me, because I know there's people who out there don't know these things and will benefit from this information. I speak to people all the time on the refining groups, Facebook and so on, who don't know where to start, what to do. They ask me, what do I need? So before you even consider picking up any acids, apart from having your PPE, you need to have that before you start, but you also need to organise these barrels. So I'm not going to rant on about it anymore. I hope you guys have now learnt something, if you didn't already know it. Thanks for watching. I have had another handful of subscribers since my last video, and I can't tell you guys enough how much I appreciate that. It means the world to me. So I would like to thank you, those of you who have recently subscribed, along with all the others who have subscribed before now, and hopefully some more soon, as I need all the ones I can get. So till the next video, and it won't be too far away, there's another one coming soon. I forgot to mention, so before I close this video off, firstly, that blue barrel will be my second stock pot once I've taken that liquid out. I plan on doing that in the next few days, recovering the gold, and then I'll be putting iron in there, and that'll be my second stock pot for the other liquids to go into. The reason why I have got 2 barrels at the moment is because I moved house. The blue one was my original one. I moved here, and while it was all stirred up, I thought, well, I'll just let that sit for a while. Started a second barrel, and as you could see, I've started getting my copper back. I'm going to need a much bigger tub, since now I've got so much liquid. I'm doing a lot more gold refining now than I have before. So the blue one will only one I got big enough will be my second stock pot. And I didn't mention before that when you recover your copper from your second stock pot, you don't just pour the liquid away thinking, okay, everything's out of it, because you've still got iron in solution. So what I will be doing, once I've got my copper out and I've already got that liquid stored away, I will be putting sodium hydroxide in there to neutralize the liquid, hopefully drop out any steel, iron, whatever's in there, and whatever solids do fall out of solution, I will then be drying on paper or cardboard, and then I can just put it in the waste bin, and the liquids will then be neutralized. So don't just go pouring iron solution down the drain or in the garden. Make sure you get everything out of it. So I just wanted to say that. Also, if you do a lot of silver refining, I do a little bit, but I do mostly gold. If you do a lot of silver, you may want to have another barrel for just your silver solutions to go into. And you would treat that like you do the first one. You would put a lot of copper in there. And that way, if there's any silver that you've missed and is still in the nitric acid, and you think you've got it all, just put that solution into a second barrel, put copper in there, and you'll be amazed, there'll still be some silver in solution, even tiny bits. All add up at the end of the day. When your barrel's full, you'll see there's quite a bit down the bottom. So those who are doing a lot of silver might want to keep a separate one. There will be silver in mine, it'll be mixed up with the gold at the bottom. That's not a problem. For the little bit that I do, I can recover that quite easily. So just wanted to point out, if you do a lot of silver, have 2 barrels. If you don't, just have 1. And I will need to invest in another empty barrel at some stage, because when this barrel starts getting full, I will need to let this one sit for a period of time, probably 3 or 4 weeks, so that everything has a chance to settle, and I'll need another one to start in the meantime. So there's no rush for another barrel right now. There's something I'll get down the track. Alright, so I just wanted to point that out because I think I forgot to mention it before. I think I've covered everything. Any questions, please let me know. And yeah, so see you next one. Bye.